How do you check the status of your IELTS or OET results on the NMC's website? This is what I'm going to talk about in this video, and the motivation is coming from a message I received from a friend on TikTok, and it reads, "Please, I will need your help with a clarification. I wrote 2 IELTS and I would like to club them. Kindly assess it for me and let me know if I can go ahead." The first result, he says he had 7.5 in listening, writing is 7, speaking is 6.5, and then 6.5 in reading. And then the second result, he had listening at 6.5, writing at 6, speaking is 7, and then reading is 7. The interval duration between the results is 3 months. Thank you for your assistance. So this is what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to use this to show you how to check your IELTS status on the NMC's website. And the purpose of this is to know whether you can use the results you have to register with the NMC or not. But before I start, let me put this disclaimer across. Whatever information I'm going to share with you in this video is coming from my experience and my understanding when it comes to clubbing IELTS or OET results, as well as the NMC registration. So if you want further clarification, what I'll do is that I'll leave the link to the NMC's website in the description box. Just compare it with whatever information I say in this video so that you can make an informed decision. Thank you very much. So the first thing you're going to do is to go to the NMC's website. So once on the website, locate registration and then come down to choose joining the register. Okay, so you're going to scroll down to select English language requirements, and then once here, scroll down and then locate English language test. So this is the option. There's one final thing to do. What is it? Let me show you. Scroll down and then choose the option that says see if your combined scores meet our requirements. So let's click on that. So at this point, you have access to the test combining calculator. This is going to help you assess your 2 IELTS or 2 OET results to see if you can use that to register with the NMC. So I'm going to take you through the process as expected. Okay, so before we dive into it, let's read this instruction. It says that you need to complete the form in one go. What this is that once you open the form, you have to finish everything up. Otherwise, going backward means that you have to start everything over again. So these are just a few bits and pieces you have to read and get yourself understanding the test combining calculator. So let's move on to click on next. So here you're going to enter the results you had for your first test, and it says that this score must be from a single test that you took within the last 2 years. And right under that, there is a question you have to answer. It says that did you sit an IELTS or an OET exam? So if it starts for IELTS, you choose. So the results you're going to use for this demonstration is that of IELTS, so you're going to choose IELTS. So once that is chosen, you've got a couple of questions to answer, and the answers you give are based on the results you had in the first test. Okay, so it says that what did you get in the listening? So looking at the results we have here, in his first sitting he had 7.5 in listening, so let's type that. He had 6.5 in reading, and then for the writing test, this person had 7, and then lastly the speaking test, he had 6.5. So once the right results have been entered, you click on next. And at this point, you're going to enter the score you had for a second sitting. And it says that the 2 test sittings must have been within 12 months of each other, and you must have been tested in all 4 sessions, both times. Now what this means is that the duration between the date you sat for the first sitting and then that of the second sitting should be 12 months and no more than that. It can be less than that. So looking at this person, his is 3 months, which means that it's met one of the criteria to club. So you're going to enter the scores he had for the second sitting, and it says that for the listening test, he had 7.5, which happens to be the same as the first one. The reading, he amassed 7, and then the writing, he scored 6. And then lastly, the speaking was 7 in the second sitting. So we are good to go. The next thing you're going to do is that you just click on submit and you're going to get an interpretation. So this is it. It says how to interpret these results. So first of all, there are 3 colors you're going to see. The first one will be green, which signifies that that score you had is the required score for NMC registration. The second color will be yellow, which signifies that you've had a minimum score for which you can combine an IELTS score. And then the red shows that the score you had is below the combining criteria and that you can't use it. Now, to be able to say that the score you have is eligible for combining, each one of these sessions should have a green color I'll demonstrate that for you to see. And it also says here that if you narrowly meet the required test score and have exhausted the test combining options, you may be able to use the supporting information from your employer as supplementary evidence of clinical competence in English in that area. So I've talked about how to use the supporting information in my other videos. You can check it out. But if you've got further questions, don't hesitate to leave that in the comment section, and you can read more about it from here. Now let's go and look at the interpretation of the results. So you can see that with the listening, we've got 2 greens, which means that each one of these met the required score for UK NMC registration. And when we move down to the reading test, we've got 1 green, 1 yellow. What this means is that in the second setting, this person met the required score for the UK NMC registration. And looking at the first setting, it's yellow because the score he had meets the criteria for combining. And when we move on to the writing test, we've got 1 green, 1 yellow. The first green in the writing test means that he met the right score for the writing test in the first setting. And in the second setting, he has something below that, but it fits the criteria for combining. And looking at the speaking test, there's 1 green, there's 1 yellow. So what this is that in the second setting, he made the right score for UK NMC registration, but in the second setting, the score he had was below what is needed for UK NMC registration, but then that result is fit for clubbing. Now, when you go through each one of these, you could see that each session has got a green. So the listening test has got 2 greens, reading has got 1 green, writing has got 1 green, and then the speaking has got 1 green. And the interpretation is that these 2 results can be clubbed. So it's good news for you, my guy. I will say congratulations. You don't need to sit for IELTS any longer. You can use these results to register with the UK NMC. Let me prove that to you. So when you come up here, it says that to combine your test, you must have at least 1 green score in each session. And if you have a red score in any session, you cannot combine that test. So looking at this, you could see that it has green in each session. So it means you are fit to club. Congratulations, you don't need to sit for IELTS any longer. Thank you very much for being with me up to this point. If this video has been very much helpful to you, I believe that it hope others are so don't forget to share, don't forget to like, and don't forget to comment your questions down there below. Hope to see you in my next video.